I am Karan Bhatia. I'm here with Victor Mohan. He's the CEO of Mohan's Tailors, and we're actually in Mohan's Tailors right now in Midtown Manhattan. You can see the wall of celebrities that have come through here. Here you go. And most recently, we had one of the biggest UFC stars of all time, and he's now the BMF champion.
Yes.
And that is Jorge Masvidal. Now, we've had some time since the fight. It's been a few weeks, and we've had a chance to digest not only the fight, but more importantly, what Mr. Masvidal was wearing. So
There's a lot to digest, by the way, a lot to digest.
it was. So let's take me through it from the beginning. What was Mr. Masvidal wearing when he came to New York to the press conference, and he came out in the white suit with the red? Take me through it.
Well, it all started with his vision. And his vision was to look like Mr. Tony Montana from Scarface. And, we collaborated on this together, He's the best at what he does. I'm the best at what I do. And this is what happens when the best meets the best. So he said, I want to look like this man. And I said, I can definitely make you look like this man, but add a little bit of your own flair to it. As I told him, as I spoke to him, not only in person but also on the phone, I said, I don't want this to come across as like just a costume, like a Halloween costume. I want this to be your very own at the same time, So with little adjustments here and there in the collar, because the collar is not exactly like how you see it in the movie, it's a little adjusted. Of course, we even put his initials, his monogram is all over the place, that's what we did.
And Jorge has been talking with you for a long time. He said you've been with him since the beginning, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you guys were chatting on Instagram, and he came to you with the vision of Scarface. And your job was to make the vision a reality. And you were able to do that because it's actually started to hit pop culture. You see it on memes, on animations. We're seeing it everywhere. In your wildest dreams, did you think that your suit would be everywhere?
In my wildest dreams, because it is. You're saying wild now. Yeah, maybe, but I just had no idea like how far it was gonna go. What started out as a vision, and of course my creation afterwards, and now for it to blow up the way that it has, it's just unbelievable. Like I'm just loving every moment of it, and it's like a dream,
It really is. And the other thing we have to talk about is not only his suit for the first New York press conference, but after the fight, he went full Tony Montana, the final scene, say hello to my little friend, with the black and white, and you nailed it. So what is your process? He says, I want to look like Tony Montana in the final scene. Do you watch the movie back? How do you create the suit to look exactly like the one in the movie?
No, I'll tell you what. I don't want people to think that this is the only thing that we specialize in, making a Scarface type suit. No. We make suits and shirts, formal wear, we're the masters of that. All right? Like the British style look, the slim fit look is what we do best. But what we also do best is we make people's imagination come to life. Like we have the ability to take drawings or sketches. Not crazy drawings, but realistic type drawings. Like if you want to look like, say, Mr. Tony Montana from Scarface, yeah, of course we can do that. I just had to do a little bit of homework myself. I had to study how Mr. Al Pacino wore his clothing in that movie. Of course, I had to print them out, and I had to try these clothes on myself. I had to play around with things. I had to figure out what collar style worked best, what lapel style, how wide or how narrow the lapel was. So like the length of the jacket. So there's a lot of details that goes into it, how wide the slacks are. So it takes work, but what we're a master of is making people's vision turn into a reality.
You're able to bring someone's imagination to life, and you were able to do that. So let me ask you this now. Nick Diaz has come out. That's Nate's brother. So Jorge beat Nate Diaz. Nick Diaz came out to challenge Jorge Masvidal. And Jorge had an official response on social media, and that involved an animation of him in his Scarface suit, which you created, using the voice of Scarface to answer the Diaz brothers. When you first saw that, what was going through your mind?
Hey, who the fuck do you think you talking to, huh?
That was my creation. I was like, yes, that was my creation. It looks so beautiful, and I'm like, I take pride but humility at the same time that I was able to create that.
You were able to create that, and we were cage side for his fight, Jorge's fight with Nate Diaz. How did you feel about Jorge Masvidal's performance on that night?
Masterful. I say round 1 and round 2 were 10-8 rounds. Round 3 was a 10-9 round. It was just masterful. He won all 3 rounds. And if this was a 3-round fight, he would have won easily. It got stopped because Nate was, I guess his cut was really bad. And it's not Jorge's fault, you know, and I don't think that there should be a rematch because it was a dominant victory.
Absolutely. So, looking ahead, what is next for Jorge Masvidal, and what is next for Victor Mohan?
So, I'm hoping that Masvidal fights. Well, okay, deep down inside, I'm hoping that he fights McGregor. Why? Because it's not only the battle of these two guys, but it's the battle of the suits. And so yeah, I mean, it's going to get pretty interesting if that happens.
Conor McGregor, notoriously well-dressed, and then you'll be able to up your game and make sure that Mr. Masvidal is well-dressed.
Of course. So not only am I going to up the levels, but I'm going to up the levels even higher than ever seen before. So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that. And just to close it out, tell people who are watching, who were inspired by what they saw by Mr. Masvidal's suit, where they can find you, where they can come in and have their imagination come to life. Where can they find you?
Mohan's Custom Tailors. We are conveniently located across the street from Grand Central Station, 301 Madison Avenue, 3rd floor, www.mohansnyc.com.
There you have it. This is Karan Bhatia reporting from Mohan's Custom Tailors. They created the Jorge Masvidal official Scarface suit, and I personally am looking forward to what they're able to do next.
Oh yeah.